Yo, how's everybody doing out there? This is the Geoff and Didi podcast. What, man? Well, hey everybody, this is the Geoff and Didi podcast. We thank you all for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube. It is hot.
It is some hot shit. And I mean that figuratively. I don't actually mean...
He doesn't want you
feces with a hot temperature.
Yeah, he doesn't want you to rub fecal matter on your body.
No.
He just wants you to feel that you're experiencing it in some way.
Man.
What's that?
Didi, it's great to be here. It's great to talk to you. It always is. This is no different. This may be better.
Likewise, Geoff.
I get excited about, and this is a little bit gay, but I get excited about
That's all right, man.
Every day, because every day I feel like every day I'm more excited to talk to you, hear what you have to say, hear your opinions on things. And I really think that our comradeship just really, really grows.
Yeah, I think that we are able to establish a coherent dialogue and stay current, but most importantly, stay friends forever.
Yeah.
You know, in a very heterosexual kind of way.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man. People want to try to put a gay spin on something. People want to, they want to make assertions. Geoff, you and Didi live together. You sleep in the same bed. You take showers together. Super gay. Guess what, man? That's what Abraham Lincoln did. And most people think he wasn't gay.
Most people think he was the greatest president of all time.
Right.
They don't even
black
touch on
people
that
like
stuff.
him. Big fans.
Yeah, and they're not going to go so far as to say what the kids say and call it what he did frou-frou.
No. Do they say that now?
Yeah, they say frou-frou now.
Goodness gracious. How do you find out about what the kids are saying?
I hear about it on the radio. Like some radio jockey will say, my kids have been saying that my kid said that I was acting frou-frou today.
Whoa.
Literally,
Yeah, that's what you heard.
That's where I heard frou-frou from.
Frou-frou.
Say that three
That's
times
really
fast.
Well, I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's a stupid word.
Very.
It's not even really a word. It's just a sound twice in a row.
Well, if anybody was, stupid enough not to catch on, frou-frou is, I guess it would shorten fruity. Was that, what do you think, Geoff? Probably
well,
fruity?
it seems like a very logical conclusion. It seems like something that would be very easy to extrapolate from frou-frou.
To deduce.
To deduce, yeah. To deduce.
But, I mean, a lot of the abbreviations today that the kids are saying, like cray or totes.
See, that's probably like ancient. That's probably like old.
That's so 2013.
Yeah,
or winter 2013.
Or 2011. You know what? Because I remember, right, I was graduated, well, I didn't graduate high school, but I was, 97. And 98 rolled around, 99 rolled around, 2000 rolled around. And the way like high school is, like the minute it's over, everybody's like in reunion mode, Like, oh gosh, can you remember back in high school,
Sure.
But now I'm at an age where it's like, it's hard for me to remember back in high school. And things like, did that happen? Did I do that? Or,
I tend to remember things from my early childhood more than I remember things from high school.
Right. A lot of suppressed memories.
Ah, those nights. Anyways, yeah, I grow frustrated with the abbreviations.
You don't like but we use abbreviations all the time.
Yeah, but our abbreviations are cool.
That's true.
Yeah, because we live together and they're funny to us.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, for those of you who don't know, your boy Geoff and Didi, we get coffee many mornings.
Yeah.
We get up, we go get coffee. A lot of adventures it's a short trip to the Starbucks up the street, but we've had a lot of adventures just on those short trips. We see pedestrians, people waiting at bus stops, both school buses as well as
regular old.
Yeah, transit, but and pass harsh judgments on the people.
Daily.
Just
daily.
We hand down judgments like Moses and commandments. You know what I mean? We're just on the mountaintop handing them down.
Or as I believe Modest Mouse said, opinions are like kittens. We're all giving them away. We're giving away our judgment like kittens.
Wow.
All the time.
Modest Mouse said that?
Yeah.
Because those guys are like thinkers.
Yeah. Modest Mouse, great band, man.
Really good band.
Gotta love Modest Mouse. But no, literally on the way up to Starbucks, maybe not a quarter mile, maybe half a mile.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an amalgam of different beasts.
A lot of, yeah.
Human beasts.
Racist. That's actually a racist remark.
Yeah? Oh. Man. I'm just going to think about that for a second.
Yeah. There is an amalgam of human animals. It's definitely. It's like the safari ride at Disneyland, only instead of animatronic hippopotamuses, they are Moldovians.
Yeah.
So, which Moldovians and animatronic hippopotamuses, man, they get confused all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They both live partially submerged in water.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, they have that little pond over there that they all hang out in.
They both
really
have,
weird.
4 teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And they both eat their young.
They do. They do that. I've seen them doing that. A lot of the things that concern me on the way to Starbucks are just the kids. The kids that are walking around without parents.
Well, they're at the bus stop, right? I mean,
yeah, they're at the stop. However, down the street there will be a kid walking away from the bus stop.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody. Yeah.
Yeah.
And do the parents know?
I don't think the parents know. I think the parents are probably at work in Dimension Psych.
Yeah, it's not likely. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I see that kind of stuff all the time, and I'm not saying that our culture is becoming pervasively worse, that it hasn't always been that way, but it does seem more prominent that there's less parenting going on and more bitching, if you will.
My goodness, there's a lot of bitching going on.
Sure.
I don't know.
Sure.
I'm glad that I don't have to face the decision of whether or not to send my kid to a public school.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, you mean send your kid to a public school or a private school? Make the decision between the two?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask, what would you rather send your kid to if you had a kid? Montessori school?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I mean, I suppose I would do a lot more research than I've done so far.
Yeah.
But I'm the product of public school, but I'm also the product of a very nice upper middle class school district.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But then I've known several people that have gone to less affluent public schools and have accomplished great things and been, really gone on to make something of themselves. And the one guy I'm thinking off the top of my head grew up in a really kind of a, non-traditional kind of household, too, He had, 2 moms. They're both school teachers. And he, everyone knew that his house was the runaway house. If you ran away, everyone knew you could crash there because he had the cool mom. And, which I did, And, you could get away with,
just about anything.
Well, yeah, and she wasn't, it wasn't because she was neglectful or what, you know what I mean? Like, I remember I got there and she said, okay, first thing you got to do, you're welcome to stay, but you must call your parents and tell them where you are. Which I think I probably told her I would and didn't do, So I don't know, but,
I had a buddy like that years ago, and he didn't, I don't know if he went on to do anything magnificent, but, I certainly had that buddy where, everybody wanted to go over to his place because you could get away with anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
right. This wasn't like that. But it was, because I had that buddy too where divorced mom was wild. You know what I mean? And she was a little out of control and she got a little bit drunk and so you get away with shit there. This wasn't that. This was more like, I don't know, she was just such a communist or something. You know what I mean? Like,
just kind of a cool vibe going on.
Very cool, very cool. And, I mean, her son is currently a professor at an Ivy League university. you know, which is phenomenal. And he's the product of, frankly, kind of shitty public school, kind of, you know, sort of. Although they did have a lot of Asians there.
Oh.
You know.
Well, that's actually a sign of a good public school because everybody's really smart.
Well,
I don't know if that's racist or not.
No, but it is, you know, I'm sure they have better test scores than schools with, like, other, you know, disproportionate populations. Mm-hmm. I'm not afraid to say that. Plus, better break dancers. Mm-hmm. So Didi, man, tell me about your life. Where are you at in the game right now? Do you mind if I share this detail about you?
Go ahead.
You and I recently went to the store, and it was my privilege to help you frame and mat and frame your, I'm not sure exactly what that'd be called, but certificate of...
My certificate of attorney, I suppose you could call.
Right, yeah. The certificate that verifies that you are, in fact, an attorney.
Yeah. I couldn't be more excited, ready
That's
to get
so
started.
Cool, man. That's really cool.
Thanks. Thanks very much. And I've been waiting for a long time.
Are you going to start acting a little cooler now, you think?
Probably not. If anything, I'll probably become a bit more rigid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I'll worry a lot more about semantics and less about antics.
Dude, that's the wrong side of the ticks debate to be on.
Yeah, I mean, I worked really hard to get here.
Yes.
And I can't wait to start. It's going to be challenging. There's a lot that goes over my head right now.
Right.
But I've met, you know, I'm kind of getting involved in the legal community as far as other kids that are just
sexually
just starting out. No, certainly not. But
would you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a lot of really cute girls that are just getting started out. Vulnerable.
Would you like to start vulnerable?
They're scared.
They're scared.
Yeah.
They need the arms of a comforting.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I don't mean that to be chauvinistic in any way.
Ooh.
I'm not a chauvinist.
Let's hope not.
Yeah. But I think everybody's a little bit scared.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot of that. We're all scared. We're scared of the future. We're scared, you know.
Yeah, it's tough out there.
In these streets.
I couldn't be more excited. You know, it's been a while.
Long time coming.
Yeah, 3.5 years since I went to law school, started law school.
I don't know if I've done anything for 3.5 years except be an asshole.
Oh, I don't know about that, man.
I mean, I don't know if I've done, you know.
I mean, you've been in a rap group for a while.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done anything in recent 3.5 years.
Oh.
There was a time when I did some 3.5 years, but
you're a working man.
I'm a working man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But actually, I mean, I haven't even been in the job I'm at for 3.5 years. Right about 3, but not 3.5. But what is amazing to me about you is that there's next to no instant gratification. I mean, you basically worked towards one single solitary goal, which naturally is divided into smaller goals along the way. You know, pass this class, pass this test. You know, but you have had your eye on the prize for 3.5 years.
Yes.
Fucking A.
It's crazy.
I mean, if I don't do anything that can't be done in a day.
Well, that's good.
I mean, I'm exaggerating. But
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, mine is going to be a bit more project-based, developing relationships with clients, which you do.
Yeah,
that's the thing is, yeah, I think you sell yourself short a little bit there because you develop relationships with people, and it doesn't take a day to do that.
No, that's true.
I think you have to maintain that so you can eventually close the deal.
Right.
But hold on, I'm getting a text here from probably some nice young batch. Oh. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. My life is going to be a bit more project based, and I say project, but it's client based. You know, the client will dictate everything I do from here on out, and
the potential. You know, you're obviously not there yet, obviously, but the potential for the financial security. I mean, I suspect you probably make a lot of money, and that's very good for you, and you deserve it. But without embarrassing you or whatever, just the appeal of having, you know, not only having more money than, is what is necessary to pay your bills, which is a situation I frankly only been in relative short amount of time, but having enough, twice as much money as you need to pay your bills.
I look forward to that, and I hope for it.
Yeah,
strive for it.
Yeah, well, and it's like, and it's not. I'm not talking about making it rain. I'm just talking about that comfort of I could not work for 3 months and not starve to death or be evicted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Or that kind of thing.
I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to taking vacations. Because in my line of work, I think I'm going to be my own boss, kind of.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly not going to take that for granted.
No.
But at the same time, I'll have to go to work Monday through Friday, probably be working through the weekends for a couple years.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to a time in my life where I can just say, I'm going to go to Mexico for a couple weeks.
Right. What's in Mexico?
Well, Mexicans, and as far as I understand, it's very beautiful there.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard it was a shithole, but I guess it's a big place, so there's probably different things.
It depends on where you go, I think. But
well, you might have dealings with drug cartels and that kind of thing.
I doubt that.
You don't think so?
I doubt that because it's against the law and it's against my ethics code to counsel people to break the law.
Well, you won't have to counsel them. You could just buy kilos of cocaine from them, or
I'll be able to afford it.
You can mule the drugs to pay your gambling debts.
Oh man, I'm going to gamble so much of my money away.
Who was talking about? Who the hell was just? I know I heard a story. Speaking of people I knew a guy who knew a doctor who illegally prescribed drugs. I mean, you met him behind a fucking grocery store or whatever, or out back behind some place, and he had a prescription pad, and he would write you a prescription for cash, and it was kind of a lot of cash, and it was whatever. But the guy was a doctor. He wasn't. I mean, according to the story, from a totally unreliable source, but. And I remember thinking, pardon me. I remember thinking, what is this fucking doctor? What shit is he into that he's completely fucking jeopardizing his practice? I mean, because you know what I mean. That's $200 to a doctor is fucking chump change. You know what I mean? Like, what? Why would you fuck around with? Why would you risk your career? That in all likelihood you're not done paying off the schooling, for $200. I mean, unless you're gambling, drug addict, maybe perhaps some kind of sexual deviant. Yeah,
those are out there.
You could be being blackmailed. I don't know.
Yeah,
but I remember thinking, what the fuck?
Well, do you remember how old the guy was?
No, well, I didn't know the guy. I never saw the guy. I heard from a guy I knew who was a junkie. Yeah. And I don't know how old he was. But.
Well, I think professionals tend to get burnt out. I mean, I think they get stuck in their routine. I mean, why he would be selling drugs? He's probably bored. No. He probably wanted a way out.
Well, it could be. I mean, I think
I'm not saying he's bored. He's just strictly bored with his position. No. But when somebody lashes out like that and does something totally irrational, like what you're talking about, why do you need $200 or why $200 is chump change when you could be just working every day and diagnosing cancer or perhaps doing surgery, whatever.
Right.
So if someone does something irrational like that, it seems like a cry for help or just a sign that they're done, kind of.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you can't be thinking remotely straight doing something like that, Because again, I mean, say you're only making $150,000 a year. Yeah. Which there's no such thing as a doctor that cannot make that money easily. I mean,
that paltry sum.
That paltry sum. There's no such thing. I mean, I recently worked, in my job where I deal with financials. I recently, was working with a doctor who is just a general practitioner, whatever, general practice doctor. Yeah. Not specialized, I don't think, in any way. And I want to say her annual income was in the ballpark at $260 or something like that. and nobody was impressed. You know what I mean? Like I talked to a few friends, like, hey, they're making this much. I had another doctor guy. Maybe I'm mixing them up. Maybe she was less, but anyways, it's like, no, yeah, the guy I thought was a surgeon who made $260. This gal is a doctor, makes $150 or $175 or something like that.
That would be great.
Well,
that would be so great.
Well,
to make that kind of money.
Oh, it would be great. It'd be fantastic. But it's like, even if you're only making $150,000 a year, which is more than obviously $10,000 a month gross income, which even after all the bullshit in the world, you've got $6,000 in your pocket spending money. Even after taxes and withholdings and stuff. Which, fucking A. I mean, if you're a drug addict and a weirdo, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't live off of $6,000 cash, in a month. I mean, and it's like, I mean, a drug addict could spend that much easily, obviously, but you go, you go try to get yourself an extra $1,000 by doing 5 back alley prescriptions. That ain't worth. That $1,000 ain't worth jeopardizing your $150,000 a year income.
Sure.
Even from a junkie perspective, because it's like, oh fuck, I don't want to fuck up my pipeline of money.
I've got a good thing going.
Right.
You know what profession I would have a very difficult time with is someone who were to take away licenses. Yeah. Someone who works for, say, a department, like a Department of Health kind of thing.
Or the Bar Association.
Or the Bar Association.
Right.
But having to be in the position to investigate the facts and apply the law and make a determination of whether or not someone who's either very young, new, or someone who's older, established, should not have their license and take away their license.
Well, not too terribly unlike a judge. I mean, like a judge who can take away someone's very liberty,
and make just a binding judgment, period.
Right.
That would be difficult because I mean, you'd have to. I don't know. You really have to step back and measure your own experience against what other people have done, and if you're a neutral arbiter, if you don't have the same background, then I feel like you'd have to really learn about what makes those people tick. But at the same,
because they might say something to you like, "You don't know me."
Yeah, sure.
How can you judge me? You don't know me.
Yeah. Why are you twisting my words around?
Why are you twisting my words around? You don't know my life.
No, but I mean,
you haven't been in my shoes.
Yeah.
They might say things like that, and then what are you gonna? What is your retort to that?
Yeah. Well, but in all seriousness, though, I mean, I feel like people might say that kind of stuff, and how does someone respond to that? How does someone respond to the person across from them saying, "You don't know shit about me"?
Oh yeah.
When having that said over and over and over again.
Right. Oh, I could sleep like a baby. I mean, I could. You know what I mean? I don't want that kind of stress, but as far as like my sense, my limited but not completely ignorant sense of the criminal justice system, for example, is that it's hard to get in trouble. I mean, sure, we execute innocent people, or we imprison innocent people, and we certainly, all kinds of injustices go on. I feel strongly that I was the victim of some of the injustices, when I was a kid. I look back and think, well, there wasn't a single problem I couldn't have ducked out of. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I could have, turns out, folks, if a cop's coming your way, go the other way. You know what I mean? Unless, that's going to cause them to chase you. You know what I mean? Just do what they say and be nice, because it's not worth it, It doesn't justify whatever, but, it's, I've been down the road and getting, arrested, roughed up a little bit, put in a holding tank, and released on bail 8 hours later, and then have an arraignment, and then a court date. and when it's all over, they just drop the charges.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't worth
the time.
That is certainly not worth your fucking time.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I worked at a prosecutor's office last summer, and I would do the arraignments in the mornings, and they just have a room full of people.
Right.
And you have to go through. Actually, it was pre-arraignments. I did arraignments as well. We did this calendar where you had arraignments, readiness hearings, all these different things. Yeah. A readiness hearing is basically when two attorneys get in the same room and say, "Your Honor, we're ready for trial."
Gotcha.
It's
right.
Self-explanatory name.
Okay.
But a lot of them were these probable cause hearings where you determine whether or not the person is a danger to society and you should set bail, or whether they should be released on their own personal recognizance.
Right. I've seen that. I've been there as well as seen it in action.
So just looking at someone's criminal history and just their whole docket.
Yeah.
And arguing before a judge that we're asking for $1,000 bail.
Right.
There were times when I didn't do these personally, but there were times when they were trying to set $2 million bail. Mm-hmm. But those were on the felonies. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. The real killers.
The real killers.
But that was tough. Mm-hmm. One, because I was going up against experienced defense attorneys.
Right.
And it used to be, the old system was that you went to the jail and you were in the same room as all of the inmates.
Yeah.
But they changed the system where they did just a live television feed, so I was talking to a television. Oh. But that was still kind of intimidating.
Yeah. Well, it's like, who am I? Max Headroom?
Yeah. I'm a baby in the game.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool though, man. That's funny. Yeah, no, I've seen those, and I frankly think that I could probably do that job with like a day's training. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing over and over and over again, where they say, "Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is has a criminal history and has committed this crime or it was picked up under very suspicious circumstances, whatever. We are asking for $10,000 bail." And then the defense attorney says, "Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is actively seeking employment. He is a permanent fixture in the community, and he provides daytime child care for his 6 kids. Mm-hmm. We are asking he be released on his own recognizance." Mm-hmm. And then the judge says, like, split it in the middle. Yeah. That's what I've seen a lot of. Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of the gist of it?
That's kind of the gist of it. The judge rarely splits it in the middle. They just kind of let him go.
Oh,
a lot
really?
of the time. Yeah. Unless, that's not my legal opinion, because it's obviously not a legal opinion.
Sure,
but,
sure.
It's just an observation, but I mean, it takes a lot to get a person held on bail.
Well, yeah. Well, the fucking, jails are crowded.
Yeah.
And not because marijuana is illegal, by the way.
Yeah, still illegal.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's legal, but not, jails are fucking crowded.
Yeah.
People said, well, maybe if they would stop
Yeah.
They would stop sending everyone with an ounce of weed to fucking prison for 100 years. And it's just like, right. Well, they don't do that. So what the fuck are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Like, they don't send fucking, meth addict, car thief, wife beaters to fucking jail.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
They damn sure aren't sending fucking the dude who got busted at the concert with the fucking 40 sack.
Yeah.
To fucking, jail or anything like that.
Yeah. Or like stealing a DVD from Walmart or something.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
Because I guess from the criminal law background, it's what is the deterrent value of keeping someone in jail who just took a DVD from Walmart or got busted with a sack of weed at a concert. Whereas, somebody who beats their wife, I guess, there's a little bit more of a deterrent value to keep them imprisoned.
Yeah.
If they're a danger to someone, I guess.
When you say deterrent,
just deter them from committing crimes. Or,
gotcha. Okay. I think of deterrent. Yeah. Okay.
Or create an incentive for that person not to commit a crime.
Right.
Like, what is putting someone in jail who steals a DVD or throws a rock through a window. What's putting them in jail going to do?
Right. Well, the answer is that anytime you put someone in jail for an activity, you're going to cut down on that fucking amount of activity. That
Yeah.
That gets, yeah.
Yeah.
But God, I never thought, when I was a teenager, man, I never thought I would be sitting here saying this. Never in a million years did I think I was going to be sitting here saying this. But, we need tougher laws. We need more. People need to get their fucking ass busted more. The fucking, you and me live together in downtown apartment building.
Yes.
Your car got broken into.
Yes, it did.
And shit got stolen out of, or whatever,
Yeah, my collection of hip-hop CDs. I had a lot of old hip-hop CDs, just got jacked, man.
Just got jacked. And the damage they did to your car, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And by an incredibly bizarre coincidence, I mean super rare, the fucking people got caught in the act.
Yeah.
They got caught in the act. I mean, how hard, you know what I mean? Caught in the act, arrested, sent to jail. Now, it ended up being that I had, whatever, I know what the outcome of that was, and those people got in no fucking trouble.
Yeah.
No trouble.
I don't remember that, actually. It's funny you bring that up.
You don't remember that they got in no trouble?
Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Turns out I knew the judge that was involved.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked the judge what ended up becoming of that.
I think I remember this now.
And it was basically nothing. And but but it's kind of like, because it's against our law of presumption of innocence and everything. You catch someone stealing a car, that's what you caught them doing. That is what you prosecute them for. Even though it's obvious, you know what I mean, to any rational person who sees them and their the tools in their car and shit, they do this professionally. They break into cars, they steal shit, they got a trunk full of stolen shit. You can't prove any of that, frequently. So you end up trying them or prosecuting them for one single solitary crime, even though this is just the once in this crime spree that they got caught.
Yeah.
And even if they've got a lot of fucking priors, they don't get in that much trouble. Shit, they don't get, I'm not trying to be Bill O'Reilly over here.
No.
But they don't get busted. I mean, they don't get in trouble when they're fucking illegal aliens.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
It's like, what the fuck?
Well, do you think someone should get fined for being an illegal alien, or should we just deport them?
Deport them. I mean, of course, deport them. I mean, I mean, that's a different can of worms, but no, this is, we all know and like people that speak Spanish as a first language. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're all great people, and I begrudge nobody anything for seeking to, enrich provide for their family and all that kind of thing. I completely appreciate that. But I mean, it's out of control. And here's what it is, dude. It's I've used the analogy before. It's like you have the fucking house party, and there's lots of people there, and then like the bad, destructive people show up and fuck the thing up, and they don't mean, like, maybe they're just too drunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they don't mean harm. And I know this is obviously an analogy. It's not, but they don't mean harm. But they're being irresponsible. They're not playing by the rules. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're, you didn't invite them. They might not be your buddies, or they might be, the guests of the guest of your guest, or something like that.
Yeah.
And so what happens is that you say, "Hey, I'm sorry. I hate to do this. I'm going to have to ask you to leave," or something along those lines. And everybody says, "Man, why are you so uptight? Why can't you just be cool?"
Yeah.
That's what, on a macro level, that's what is happening with the immigration, specifically, the Mexican border.
That's a great analogy.
It is. It's like, hey, man, don't be uncool. And it's like, well, and of course it's like, sure, this isn't cool. You know what I mean? But you can't, I've said this a million times. There's shitty places and there's good places. And you can't just have the people from the shitty places go to the good places. Because then you have empty, shitty places and places that used to be good but now are shitty places.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I do feel that people from the shitty places,
Yes.
while they don't have a right to come here,
Right.
well, they don't have a right to remain here, is what I'm saying. They certainly have a right to come here. Anybody has
Not
a right
necessarily. I mean,
How so? I mean, you have a right to go from one place to another, don't you?
no.
I don't get it. Expand.
Sure. Well, I can't decide to catch a boat and go to Cuba or North Korea or,
Without a passport.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
No, you have to apply. Say, may I be allowed to come to where you are?
Yeah.
Most of foreigners, or I don't know most, but plenty of them certainly on student visas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, get that.
They have a right.
Get that.
Yeah, they have a right to do that. Mexicans don't have any right. They don't have a right to just hop the border and come up here.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying that it needs to be more tightly regulated. Like there needs to be some kind of retroactive passport.
Yeah.
There needs to be a retroactive passport regulation where, essentially, if somebody comes here illegally, they should be given some kind of opportunity to get a passport. Like what I'm saying before you fucking interrupt me is is that I understand the situation. I mean, I'm not an immigrant myself.
Sure.
But I understand being caught between a rock and a hard place of wanting to go somewhere and not being legally able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So people are desperate. They come to the country and they get kicked out. Or, like you said, they break all the rules. Mm-hmm. So there needs to be some kind of incentive for them to get a passport, to get legal, to get naturalized immediately if they're going to come here. So they're legal citizens. You see what I'm saying? Like, that it's certainly possible.
But I mean, so if they come here legally, we should make them legal.
We should give them an opportunity to get legal. Sure, why not?
Well, because then what's the point? Why don't we just not make it illegal?
Well, that's the thing is people that don't want to get a passport or people that don't want to be naturalized, kick them the fuck out.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. But I mean, I don't think it's fair for any country to exclude people. If people want to go somewhere,
right,
they should be allowed to go somewhere. And if it's illegal, that's fine. I agree with it being illegal now, and I agree with it being illegal, period.
Right.
But I'm saying there has to be steps for people to naturalize, or there has to be steps for people to be able to go where they want to go and live where they want to live. And I'm just saying, play by the rules, people.
Yeah, well, but
the rules aren't in place.
Oh, sure they are. Of course they are. Absolutely they are.
No, but I'm saying the right rules are not in place.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I'm speaking hypothetically.
Right. No, it's a weird thing to mention, but of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger, former governor of California, he said, listen, I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm an immigrant myself, but I'm a legal immigrant. Mm-hmm. I went through the process of applying for citizenship or whatever. He took whatever steps. Now, the argument I usually hear, because people say, well, listen, if they want to be here, they should do it the legal route. And the argument usually is, that's too hard. I mean, you know what I mean? They say, no, it takes too long. It's too bureaucratic. It's yada, yada, yada. From that perspective, the illegal aliens, and I don't have a problem calling them that.
Neither do I.
From that perspective, the illegal aliens are fucking over their countrymen who are attempting to do it the right way. Mm-hmm. Because, of course, if we had less, illegal immigrants, then we would have more room and resources to process legal ones. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that entirely.
Yeah. But there's no. That's the thing. If people talk about legislation and rules, the the simple fact is that the laws are already on the books. I mean, it's, it's one of those things where if a law is broken on such a wide scale, then it's, you know what it is? If the law is broken on such a vast scale, then it seems like persecution to prosecute one person who's breaking the law.
Yeah,
because
totally.
they say, hey, look at everybody else. You know. But no, I fundamentally would challenge your idea that people, I mean, maybe in the sense of God's universe or whatever, people have a right to go where they want, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, unless you want to do away with borders and the concept of nations, you know?
No, I see what you're saying, and I may have misspoke. I'm saying that people have a right to go anywhere legally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. I misspoke. Yeah. People have a right to go anywhere legally, and we need to take steps to make it easier for people to go places legally.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, I don't know why, though. I mean, I mean, I don't know. Is it like if people keep stealing your car, we need to make cars more accessible to car thieves so that they don't have to steal them?
No, it's not like that.
I mean, because here's the thing. If you wanted to make it easier, you could just open the borders and say there's no... I mean, that would be the easiest.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess logic dictates that there is some reason that the process is what it is. And I'm sure it's bureaucratic, like all things. But I don't know that it's too hard to do. And it's also, maybe I'm a little suspicious, too, of the, you know, people aren't necessarily on the border in Mexico, like starving to death, just trying to, you know, feed their families, which is something that, you know, it's like, they're like, hey, it's a hell of a lot better over there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they're not like at death's door necessarily. And then, see, and that's just and frankly, that's just the good, hardworking ones. But there's also an entire fucking class of criminals.
Yeah.
You know, because criminals, I mean, people that, you know, the drug cartel related. Of course, you know, MS-13 is a super big fucking deal. And those are people that are just, you know, here because it's a better place to be a criminal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and in those cases, I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to fucking... I don't know if I'd be opposed to, like, summary executions in some cases. You know? I mean, like, seriously, like...
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've had that conversation before.
Like, I mean, you know, and I'm opposed to sensationalist news. I don't like this one instance and making a big deal of it.
Oh, yeah.
But,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But, you know, there's fucking, like, fire bombings and shit in L.A. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, gang fights that are, like, on a militant scale sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, not just... You know, I mean, supposedly that's where the MS-13 gang came from, is Central America or something, South America, Central America, somewhere. Yeah. They were a guerrilla warfare force that lost their revolution, and you know, but they had some infrastructure and they had some, you know, lines of organization, right? Some hierarchy and everything, and they had weapons and resources, cash, drugs, you know, whatever. Basically, like how I live my life.
Every day.
Cash, drugs,
women. Don't forget women.
Bitches. Not necessarily in that order, but probably in that order. I don't know.
Man. You're cracking a lot of funny jokes today, man.
Working on it.
I mean, I can almost compare you to Andrew Dice Clay, but I'm not sure we're quite there yet.
Dude, that guy.
Keep working.
Ahead of his time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching this video the other day where he was on CNN or something.
Yes.
And the the news anchor was interviewing him, and he said something to the effect of, "I understand, Mr. Dice Clay, that you are running your own gym now."
Yeah. And he goes, "What the fuck? Where are you getting your information? Running my own? What do you need, a workout?" Which you always know someone's lying, by the way, when they do the hypothetical. You know, I learned that from a certain family that you know I'm talking about, where you'd say, Like, hey, dude, did you take my baseball? What? Your baseball? So, dude, hey, he just asked me, why would I take your baseball? What am I going? I need a baseball. I'm going to take your baseball. It's like they do that, and it's kind of like, why would you take my baseball? So that you could have it?
So you could have it, yeah.
You know?
So you could enjoy a baseball and throw it around.
I mean, you would take it from me for the same reason I would want to have it, because you want to have it. Like, you don't have to like make a theatrical production of the thing. We don't have to use the scientific method or anything.
Some people, I mean, Andrew Dice Clay. He's just, I'm really stuck on that guy right now.
Yeah,
he's just really kind of caught up in his own universe. And something struck me the other day that I learned is, I believe it's the animal kingdom. Is it the sloth that spends their entire life in a single tree?
Yeah, I think I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that, and they only come down to use the bathroom. Yeah, to like defecate, which is inexplicable since that's like the only time they're vulnerable to predators. Mm-hmm. I saw that.
I think I don't know, what would our world be like really if all of us stayed in one place all the time?
It would be Tacoma, Washington.
It would be Tacoma.
No, what would that be like? You know what? In a sense, I think we're headed there. Mm-hmm. You saw Wall-E, the fucking the Pixar movie. Wall-E. Yeah. Dude, a little bit scary. Mm-hmm. The fat people in like a floating fucking a rascal scooter thing with like an iPad in front of them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think in a sense, man, I'm afraid I'll confess, I'll tell on myself, I'm disgusted with how much time my nose is to a screen. Mm-hmm. Never mind that I do it all day at work. Mm-hmm. But then and at work, of course, I check my phone, look at my screen, check my phone, look at my work screen, come home, look at my iPad, look at my phone, look at my screen, look at my phone, look at my iPad, look at my screen, get in bed.
Look at your dick.
Look at my dick, dude. See my dick. Forget all about the screen. Forget all. Just my mind is blown. Then I look into space and I wonder, hey, what else is out there? If this is possible here, what's possible beyond? See, I see my dick. I'm like, maybe this is the center of the universe, man.
Dude, your dick is probably somewhere out in Mars in its own colony.
It is. It
its own glass encased
just the right amount of veininess. I'll tell you that with no reservations, man. It is really effective.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the John Rambo of cocks, dude. It's like when you need the job done, he plays by his own rules, but he gets the job done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He might not go the route you expect him to go, but he'll get to the destination.
He'll get there.
He'll get there. He'll deliver the message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Geoff Van, dude.
That's not juvenile or anything.
You're brainy?
Yeah.
But your dick is veiny and zany.
Yeah. And zany. Oh, there's a Jew outside.
Oh God.
We're being visited by
our good friend Danita.
Danita.
Danita is here.
Danita.
Here, let me go let Danita in.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Geoff, maybe sing him a song.
All right. Well, listen. Our guest is here. The three of us are going to go break bread at Chateau Denis. Mm-hmm.
One of the finest establishments in the area.
Oh, man.
Have you seen the menu lately?
This is a place where the maitre d' looks like the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Uh-huh.
And all-you-can-eat pancakes are what, $4.99?
$4.99. No, $4.
$4?
Served by a person with Asperger's disease.
Yes. Which is okay.
That's fine.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Good at it.
You know, everybody out there, we want you to know that we're here for you to make you laugh, make you cry, and make you wonder why. So stay tuned to what we've got to speak. And have a good night.
A thought sparks from chaos and slowly formed patterns, and crowds gather in underground caverns, and weak MCs dwell in taverns. Meanwhile, I'm on the mountain top with soda pop, the beats I drop, they do be caught.